A woman is like a tea bag. You can't tell how strong she is until you put her in hot water. Today, leaders are faced with many challenges and opportunities. It's an age of uncertainty. Things are changing because of the complexities of business. We need team members and leaders to be on their feet. We need them to be responsive, agile, and we need them to be flexible more than ever. It's a new day. Anything can happen. We need to be prepared for crisis. And it could be anything from a financial crisis. It could be a health epidemic. It could even be a natural disaster or a product recall. But we need to know how to react. And the truth is, for a long time, we may have been blinded by what's happening. Leadership. The truth is, women are better leaders during crisis. This time and day, we need transformational leadership. And studies show that women have the strength and ability to be stronger during crisis because of their ability to communicate well, their ability to collaborate, and their ability to motivate teams for better performance. It's a transformational leadership style that's essential for times of crisis, and especially for the 21st century. And from my own experience, I've seen the truth. I started working for a leading fashion brand. I worked in an industry absorbed with female leadership. I worked for some of the top female executives. I worked in such a fast-paced environment. I was groomed from the very beginning to think on my feet, problem solve, manage multiple projects simultaneously. How can you do this? I was able to do this because I learned how to collaborate. I learned very quickly, in order to get the job done, I needed to work with all the other teams. I needed to learn what their initiatives were and what they needed to achieve for success. And when I understood that, I was able to be a strong team player. I worked for women who demanded results. And they achieved this because they inspired their teams. They motivated their teams. They were able to do this because they understood the strength of their team members, and they were able to achieve the most out of them. These women led you outside your comfort zone. They wanted you to find new solutions to do things better. It was really an opportunity to work with a group of people who together had one goal in mind. I am now in a situation where I'm with all of these women who are always 2 feet ahead of any problem, and they're able to manage crisis with ease. At the same time, these women, they're raising children at home and running a household. I was with transformational leaders. Suddenly, when I was then brought on to work for a premium automotive company, I was now in an environment, an industry dominated by men. It changed. It wasn't a bad thing. It was a new perspective. I learned how to work with men who demanded results. But they achieved this by giving you clear direction to work within parameters. They gave you action-oriented goals. They set a plan, and they didn't deviate from their plan. When they had a problem, they took it on as it came. They took charge and they led. In fact, A few times, more than once, I was found collaborating. Slowly but surely, I kept on collaborating, and it caught on. It was appreciated because the men that I worked with were more transactional. They were transactional leaders. So irrespective of industry, whether you're a man or female, you have different management styles, and you have different insights to business. And together, this enables better problem solving. And for the 21st century, this is what we need. We need transformational leadership. We need to embrace the different types of leadership. We need to work together. Leaders need to be ready for rapid change. They need to be able to motivate team members. They need to foster loyalty. They need to encourage employees to succeed. They need to create an open mind and trust with their employees. And as research shows, these are all the skill sets that female leadership brings. So it's a day of transformational leadership. And now what you're seeing is gender balance is more important than ever. This is what we're trying to achieve. When you have different types of leadership styles, collectively organizations can be prepared and benefit in the 21st century. But when you look at top leadership right now, it's a male-dominated world. 85% of S&P board members are men. 97% of Fortune 1000 companies are run by men. Women continue to be underrepresented in all business sectors compared to men. In any case, how do we change this? One of the things that's part of the problem is during the financial crisis, a lot of programs that were developed to continue to inspire and support female leadership were cut. The programs were not part of the core operating budgets. They weren't considered mission critical, so they were cut. So in order to change the dynamics, what needs to happen is female leadership really needs to be part of the core business, and it has to be a priority for every business. Once they have that as a priority, they need to fund it. They need funding behind this. They need the resources. And then they need to change the culture. In order for women to succeed and make an impact and change the dynamics, in order for us to have that 50-50 ratio or even try and get there, is to change the culture by having flexible working conditions. We also need to have CEOs that are monitoring and have visibility of what's happening with the women in the company. And we also need to create better work-life balance. This is going to be very important because in order to move forward, we need to really think about who is the next generation. Who is the next generation coming into the workforce? It's the millennial generation. This is one of the largest generations that will be taking on into many of these working positions since the baby boomer generation. And these people, this generation, they are transformational as well. They're looking to work with people who are mentors. They're looking for coaches and also to work with transformational leaders because what they believe in is they believe in work-life balance. They prioritize value of education. They want to develop. They want to have flexible working conditions. These are people who are going to want to work in jobs with purpose. They're going to need people who will groom them and really encourage them to be the next leader. When we empower women, what we're doing is we're able to really engage a community. And what happens is when you empower a woman, communities do well. They're more productive, they're innovative, and they're more successful. So together, as we think about, we move forward, we have a whole new generation coming up, and we have all these organizations that have men leading it. What we need now is we need more women who will be able to take on and be leaders and really groom the next generation. So as companies move forward, they really need to think about how are they going to retain this generation? And if they're only transactional leaders, how are they going to be successful? So I leave you here today thinking about how do we make the change and how do we empower women and bring more transactional leaders into the workforce, into organizations. Let's not waste talent, and let's get going. Thank you.